So here is your round one heat number 4 here at the Oi Rio Women's Pro. Lakey Peterson, number 7. Sage Erickson, number 17. Pauline 14. So 2 surfers from the USA, 1 surfer from France. Again, this is a good heat on paper. Surf fans, we are right into it. Underway here, back at it here in round 1. Heat number 4 of the Oi Rio Pro. 30 minutes on the clock, as we already have seen a rider up. That was going to be Sage Erickson, who got things rolling right off the get-go. But unfortunately, won't be a good ride for Sage. She's kind of had to go straight, and it's going to be Pauline representing France. This young surfer has been grinding it out on the QS. She does have CT experience, of course. That wave, a no-go for Pauline. And that'll cycle things around. That'll give priority over to Lakey Peterson with a full 29 minutes and 15 seconds for the most part. But then you saw some highlights. Stephanie Gilmore with an 8.6 making it through. That was her heat total. Here we go. Lakey Peterson, her first wave of round 1. Heat number 4. Her backhand is always sharp. A couple of precise turns out the back. She makes her way through this inside section. And she is just fighting through the bump. But definitely got a couple good turns out the back, and I think that is going to be a great start for Lakey Peterson. Makes full use of that wave, but it's just really technical, precise surfing. She puts her board right in the perfect spot with every turn, making a lot out of little on that wave.
Yeah, see what's scoring, see what the judges are looking for. At the beginning of each day, the judges will set that criteria. Here goes Lakey again. Yeah,
this is just getting that, well, trying to get the backup score, but going down there. But I like that thought process. Get your first wave under your belt. She gets a 6, so one of the highest scores we've seen of the entire day. Look back. This is Lakey Peterson. She had a 2.17 here. It's enough for a backup.
Yeah, absolutely. A good backup for Lakey. I like the fact she's staying busy. Chris, keeping that momentum, keeping that flow going, and she's backed up that 6-point run. You really can't sort of afford to leave any kind of thing out. Here goes Pauline.
Yeah, Pauline right there, like Sage Erickson gave her the nod and gave her that wave. No harm, no foul. It was a no-go for Pauline Adu.
Ball's dropping, so you're going to have to be on that wave when it comes through and be right in the right spot. That sandbar goes all the way out to the end of those rocks out there that you can see over my shoulder probably, and that is kind of as the line goes. So you got to be right in that line as that set comes in, further and further and further over, the bigger it gets.
Quick answer,
yeah. All right, here we go. Pauline Adu, potentially on a better wave. She gets around this whitewater section, finds some open face to work with. It is tough on your backhand to surf a mushy wave like that and make it really look sparky. Yeah, I might have wanted to see her try to beach that wave and get something going. As Lakey again, with that wave just after Pauline. So the judges watched Pauline's wave. They saw the body language, and then they look and see Lakey, who just has a little bit more fire. You can tell she's a little more lively out there. Body language can play a huge role in waves like this, where you need to sell the judges on the score. You need to manufacture your scores.
Absolutely. I mean, you've got to sell it, Chris. You've got to make sure that the judges are believing that you're into it, believing that every maneuver you're putting 110% in, and you can see Lakey's doing that. Even though it is substandard waves, I mean, she's not giving up on it. And sheer talent is what's getting her through right now. Look at that turn right there, comes off the bottom, and again, milking it through. Combination of turns, but nice body extension. I love the way the upper torso pivots, and then the board follows, and I think it's throwing a lot of spray out the back, putting a lot of emphasis on each maneuver, focusing on it, and, well, selling it. You talked about the body language between Lakey and Pauline. Pauline obviously out of groove at the moment. And Lakey, because she's been catching waves, because she's even catching those smaller ones that haven't been scoring, it's put her in line for another good wave.
Welcome back, surf fans. You're watching round 1, heat number 4 of the Oi Rio Pro Women's Championship Tour. Action in the water and right on command. Sage Erickson now trying to get back into this heat. Big first turn. Finding something to work with here. It's bumpy on the face, but she's making full use of this wave. All the way to the beach. Could have a nice inside reward section. It does.
It's up, that board becomes a little bit more responsive. Sage Erickson there. Look at that beautiful turn from Sage. And again, backs it up with a nice little arcing maneuver. Working this one all the way through. Once you get yourself on these kind of waves, you don't want to make any mistakes. Milking it all the way through the inside, which she does, and finishing on her feet. The judges want to see that. You want to do all the work out the back, some big turns to kick it off, and then finish strong. Sage Erickson back in the game.
Power-packed 1-2 punch for Sage Erickson through to that inside. Things are starting to move here. 12 minutes to go. Pauline Ado now wrapping it up right in front of Sage Erickson. That will put some scores on the board. Our scores available. You've got to find them.
Absolutely, and you need to crank it up too. I mean, to get up into that 6-point range, you need big turns. Pauline Ado, this way it's going to get her out of that combo situation. Just needing just around about a 1 point something to get her into a single-digit score requirement. But Pauline Ado is showing looking a little looser on that occasion right there.
Lakey Peterson does have priority, so she's on the peak. And Lakey Peterson staying busy on her back, and you see just up and right at it. Gets on the attack immediately, showing some urgency in those 2 turns, but not making it look forced, doing just enough right there. I love the look back. I mean, that shows you the tenacity with Lakey Peterson. She was looking, is there anything left for me? Is there any more scraps on the table?
You know, you can't just rely on the fact that, hey, I'm on the best wave, I'm going to get the score. You've got to capitalize on it. You've got to really focus on big turns. This is going to be a big score for Lakey Peterson. 2 solid maneuvers. And you can see, look at what she looks over her shoulder. Did I waste any of the wave? Is there more scoring potential on that? And that's what's making her good.
And that's why she's winning this heat right now. She has been the surfer who has basically been just on the attack since the buzzer blew. She got the first wave and the last wave so far. And kind of that's the flip side of it right there. Pauline Ado has just been a little behind the gun there. And she has not been picking the best waves. As we get back into competition, round 1, heat 4 action. Lakey Peterson taking the win there. Sage Erickson second. Pauline Ado in third. Sage and Pauline both relegated to that dangerous second round.